You're listening to Mad Mike's Smile Time Variety Cast.
Hello everyone, bonjour, tabarnak, and welcome to another episode of the Smile Time Variety Cast. I know we haven't been here in a little while. I think my last episode was, September of last year? I decided to give this up after the Seth Putnam documentary blew up and I realized, hey, I don't have to work anymore. But anyways, we're bringing this little podcast back for one special episode. We are going to be counting down our favorite death albums. And with me, I have a guest from the land from down under, the Bean himself, Beanman. How you doing?
Hello everyone, I'm doing good. Ready to rank some death albums.
Hell yeah. Alright, man. Good to see you. How's the Australian winter treating you?
It has not been fun. We have had a few days that were borderline snow back in June.
Oh my god, snow.
Oh, I know. It was pretty damn close. I think I have some videos somewhere I could probably show to you guys on the Discord and whatnot.
Oh man.
It is now almost spring, it's heating up.
Yeah,
and
man.
now we got death.
Now we got death, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I discovered death, when was that? I was like in my early 20s, just getting into metal, and I was just like, I heard Scream Bloody Gore for the first time, and I was just like, wow, this is an awesome band. I gotta listen to more of them. What about you? When did you start becoming a fan of death?
So I got introduced to them at probably the age of like 13, 14. Had a friend to show me a couple of tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, your usual, like you pull the plug and I don't know, Evil Dead, Zombie Ritual, all that. It wasn't until a couple of years later that I deep dive everything, and they easily became one of my like top 5, maybe even top 3 favorite bands ever.
Nice.
So now here we are.
Gotta
rank them.
For sure. Alright, so how this is gonna work, we're gonna go through, we each have our lists, you know, from number 7 to number 1, because Death has 7 albums. We're gonna go through them chronologically, and we are going to give the number to the corresponding album. Sounds pretty simple, right? Right, so we'll start with our debut and be like, this is my number 7, this is my number 5, blah 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 blah. Alright, so pretty easy. Starting in 1987, we have Death's debut album, Scream Bloody Gore. This is
Legendary.
This is featuring Chris Reifert on the drums, who would then go on to play in Autopsy. This also features Randy Burns producing, Ed Repka with the artwork, and of course the lead singer, the songwriter, the everything, Mr. Chuck Schuldiner himself. So I'll let you start. I'll let you start. Where do you have this album ranked at?
So, I said that they were one of my like top 5, top 3 bands ever.
Yeah.
Every album is like, man, where do I even put this? It's all just too good.
Yeah.
So with that being said, even though it's a front to back banger, Scream Bloody Gore is all the way down at number 6 for me. I know. But then I look at the track list and I'm like, God, Infernal Death, Zombie Ritual, Mutilation, Evil Dead's the title track. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
It was pretty much the blueprint for death metal back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It remains one of the best death metal albums of the 80s for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, all the way down at 6th.
All the way down at 6. Hey,
it is too good for a band, you know?
Yeah, but again, it's a pretty dang good album, right? Even though it's at 6, like, it's almost like trying to rank Stanley Kubrick's movies. Like, you know, it's
oh yeah.
Even this band's garbage would be Psycho Sinner's masterpiece, right? So, yeah, that's the only time I'll mention Psycho Sinner on this one. Okay, cool. I just mentioned them
I most certainly hope so. I shall continue. He who must not be named.
Yeah, I know. All right, so man, I'm spoiling this all the way right off the freaking bat. So you got it at number 6. I don't know if anyone in the comments will get upset about that, but maybe my ranking will give it raise a few eyebrows. Not too sure, but Scream Bloody Gore is my number 1. Yes,
very nice.
Their debut, probably their most simplistic album, I guess. I don't know what defines that, but in terms of just pure visceral primal experience, this ranks as number one. Absolutely. Because, like, right off from Infernal Death, you get Chuck going, die!
Yeah, true, man.
Die! Like, just the low die and the high die, and it
that
just...
like long scream right at the end, yeah.
And it takes you on
Crazy.
a absolute, like I said again, visceral, primal journey where it's like the album just wakes up and chooses violence for 30 minutes, and it just doesn't stop. And not only is it intense, not only is it wild, but the music is also good. The riffs are just so damn catchy and hooky. The drumming is Chris Reifert on here. I mean, he plays a lot slower in Autopsy, but here he's just like he's on 10 shots of freaking
whole time.
10 shots of freaking Red Bull, right? I don't think Red Bull existed at the time, but yeah, I mean, like the opening riff for Zombie Ritual, like that's like one of the best.
Iconic.
My favorite track off of this thing is Evil Dead. Like just it
My
starts
favorite
off
is Mutilation.
Like it starts off with like that like that really eerie sounding opening riff there, and it just turns into this thrash epic for the rest of the song. And
and
like,
it's so well done too.
Yeah,
the transition that they do, it's just like boom on a beat.
Like,
but you just kind of sit there like, damn, that's perfect.
Absolutely, man. And like, of course, they got more technical, they got more progressive, they got, you know, maybe more professional as songwriters later on. But in terms of just such a pure, angsty, visceral, violent, no bullshit experience, this is absolutely one of the best ever. Like, this is Rain and Blood on steroids.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my number one. Not to say, you know, none of the albums that came after were bad at all. At all. Like, Death is one of those bands that just never made a bad album, in my opinion. But in terms of my personal favorite, this is my number one. So that is Scream Bloody Gore, everyone. So is there anything else you want to say about this one?
Oh, there isn't really too much more to say. But as you were saying, it's so like aggressive and stuff from front to back. If you really squint hard enough, there's some really good melodic moments. Like you mentioned the start of Evil Dead, there's obviously the start of Zombie Ritual. Hell, even as soon as Infernal Death comes swinging in, it's got a pretty distinct melody to it.
Yeah.
Just something I wanted to point out.
Yeah, just some good melodies too. All right,
we will move on to Leprosy.
We got
which
Leprosy in 1988. This has a bit of a more refined lineup. We got Bill Andrews on drums. Chris Reifert's no longer there. He went on to form Autopsy. And we got Terry Butler on bass, Rick Raz on guitar, with the legendary Scott Burns producing and the legendary Ed Repka on the artwork. And Leprosy, the infamous pink album cover with that poor dude just like, I mean, he's got lesions growing on his arm. Like, you know, you can see the tendons on his face, and you know, the Michael Jackson nose, and like he's having a bit of a rough day on that one. Damn.
Yeah, it's disgusting, just like it should be for a band like this.
And the songwriting and riffs and everything else, like, it's just as disgusting as the album cover. Yeah. And you know, obviously on a technical level, it's much more technical and planned out than Scream Bloody Gore. And I would have this ranked as my number 5. Again, this is like trying to pick your favorite child. So
yeah, for real.
I mean, there's a lot of great tracks on this one. Of course, the iconic Pull the Plug. The title track just has
amazing.
One of the best choruses ever, one of the best pre-choruses ever, you know. Rotting while they breathe, death comes slow. I actually had
it's very good.
Long time ago a Leprosy t-shirt, and it had those words on the back with like, it was like, rotting while they breathe, death comes slow.
Very nice.
I don't have it anymore. I outgrew it. This is when I was about 1,000 pounds lighter. So yeah, and then we
One
have
way to put it.
Open Casket, Left to Die. In terms of
Born Dead and Forgotten Past, they're both fantastic as well.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of they're still in their I would say their death thrash era at this point. It's a little bit
Yeah,
more
for sure.
it's a little bit more technical, but they're still in that kind of era,
That's
right?
a fair bit more, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Chuck's voice still sounds great on this one. He's
Very
singing's
good, yeah.
freaking great. So where do you got this one ranked for yourself?
Well, this is where I start making even more enemies, because this one is dead last.
Oh my God! What? Oh man!
I know.
I'm just gonna put.
I remember re-listening to this still a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, how can I justify putting this last? I don't think I can, but here it is.
Yeah, the unfortunate part of a list like this, something is like one of the good albums is gonna have to be at number 7, right? So, yeah, it's at my number 5, so it's at your number 7. I'm just gonna put some boo sound effects right there, and
You do that.
get them.
Line it up with me saying number 7.
Oh no, boo!
That's gonna be funny when the video comes up.
Yeah.
One other thing about this one is I've always found that the mix is a little bit weird. Like I've always found that the drums are a little bit too loud for my liking. So by the end,
they're very
my ears do
bombastic.
get a bit tired a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But god damn, the overall package of this album is just so good. You also mentioned the title track. That track is like what, 6 minutes and 19 seconds, which is
Yeah.
absolutely unheard of for like this era of death metal.
For this era, yeah.
And it works so well.
Yeah, because
Like that's probably my favorite track on the album. It just comes in swinging
yeah.
straight away with the longest and most advanced track there is. God.
And it's so bombastic in the beginning too, like a boom, 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 boom,
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, that bit.
Yeah,
Oh man.
hell yeah.
Imagine
So,
hearing it back in the day.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, that's another
Crazy.
thing too. Like looking back on this, like nothing else really sounded like this back then. Nothing else was taken like to this level, I think, really,
Yeah,
at the
sure.
time. So at the time, this must have. It's almost similar to hearing Black Sabbath's debut in 1970,
Yes.
where like nothing else
that
was
would have
like
been even weirder.
nothing else was happening like this. So yeah. Anyways, that's Leprosy, 1988, and now we're gonna move on to 1990 and a bit of a I want to say almost like a fork in the road type of album, maybe a watershed type of album. And this is Spiritual Healing. Yes, Spiritual Healing, released in 1990. We still got Scott Burns producing this one. Bill Andrews,
wow.
Terry Butler are still in the band. They have a new guitar player, James Murphy. And then, of course, Chuck leading the band. Ed Repka still on the artwork with, to me, one of the most iconic artworks ever. Like, we got this preacher dude who's just happy taking all this poor dying guy's money, and everyone's just like, yes, cure him. And this guy's like, no, I'm dying. I'm gonna die.
So strange.
Stop slapping me.
So strange.
Yeah.
The very bright color palette of that artwork I always found kind of weird for them.
Yeah.
Like it's 90% bright blue.
Yeah, bright blue.
So yeah, that's definitely an artwork that stands out while we're still talking about the artwork.
Yeah, for sure. You know, this one, it's a little bit, like I said, a fork in the road kind of for the band, where they started to really break away from the death thrash sound, and they're moving more into a technical avant-garde territory. That those seeds are starting to get planted with this album. You got some great tracks on this one. I mean, the title track speaks for itself. Low Life, Altering the Future, Living Monstrosity, the opening track. Even though it's kind of like a change for the band, the songs are still great. So
Yeah.
with that, it's my number 6.
Six,
So
alright.
yeah,
Not
I
bad.
got it ranked at number 6 over here on my end. Still a great album. I think I rated it like an 8.5 out of 10, which
Oh wow, but it's still number 6.
Yep. That says everything you need to know about this band, right? Where like even stuff that's got, that's like an A, it's still kind of like Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so used to A pluses, you know. So we got this at number 6 for me. Where do you got it on your list?
I got it fifth. I actually slightly prefer it to the first
Oh
two, which is
man.
another blasphemous statement, but here we
Oh
are.
man. Oh man. I'm interested to hear the reasoning here.
I know, I know. It's more technical and blah blah blah, so of course someone like me likes it more.
Yeah.
Um, one track that people always forget to shout out, which I always champion from this album, is Defensive Personalities.
Mm-hmm.
That track is just it might be the most off the rails track here, so once again, of course, someone like myself likes it. This is unfortunately their weakest mix by far. Like it's
Yeah.
missing that nice reverb from the first two. The vocals sound a little bit weird, like they're processed weirdly or something. A lot of people say that it sounds like
Yeah.
the vocal track was duplicated and panned weirdly or something. So that can be a
Yeah.
bit distracting when you listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But God,
Yeah. It's like
they
they were.
continue to get even tighter as musicians and whatnot.
Yeah.
They
Like
just click better as a band.
yeah. They were like planting the seeds for their more technical turn, right? And I think that's what they were
Oh
trying to
yeah,
do here, and I think that got perfected on later releases. You know.
it got perfected on the very next one, but
Yeah.
we'll get there in a sec.
We'll get there in a second. Yeah. But for sure, like, you know, another iconic release from the band. You know, very important fork in the road type of album. Very similar to, say, I don't know, Volume 4 or Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath, where
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
started to get more experimental and stuff like this.
Mhm.
And that foundation was perfected on the next release quite a bit.
Oh man, here we go.
We have 1991's Human, released October 22nd, 1991. And this is where they take that technical turn that they were trying on spiritual healing and really went all out with it. I re-listened to this one recently in preparation for this. I mean, this was actually at one point my lowest ranked. And now
Wow.
I actually want to put this at number 4 for myself,
It
which
went from
is
last to number 4. Hey,
yeah.
interesting.
Last it went from the last one to right in the middle. So yeah, this album's mid. So no, sorry. Uh, yeah, we got a whole new lineup pretty much on this one. We got Paul Masvidal accompanying Chuck on guitar, the legendary Giga Chad Steve DiGiorgio on bass,
Oh my god.
and then we
man.
have Sean Reinert, a legendary drummer on drums, and they all bring their musicianship to the fourth, and they all bring their A game to this one. Like especially Sean Reinert. Especially Sean Reinert.
Oh yeah.
He's so
And
phenomenal.
they
on
crafted
this
one of my
album.
favorite albums ever for this one.
Yep.
Spoilers for what the ranking will probably be, but yes.
Yep. And this says a lot about Death. Upon re-listen, I gave this a 9 out of 10. And
But it's still
It's
fourth.
still fourth. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what can we say about the tracks on this one? It's a great listening experience overall, listening from front to back. We got Suicide Machine, that freaking
Oh.
that little thing, that little section they do where it's like yeah, it's so good. We got Lack of Comprehension, which is the big hit
Oh.
off of this album. It starts off with this like really jazzy avant-garde, and it goes into this
Oh,
death
for lack of
metal
comprehension,
epic.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we got the great instrumental Cosmic Sea, and then finishing off with
yeah.
Vacant Planets. Just such a phenomenal release from them, and such a weird piece of art for the artwork.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. I'm guessing they were going for something brutal, but not quite. It's almost like a science display or something like that.
Yes.
But
It's like that early Carcass kind of look of
yeah,
taking like the medical journals and blah blah blah.
yeah,
Kind of reminds me of that.
a little bit, yeah. And then of course Scott Burns on this one, like whatever complaints you had on Spiritual, I think they're gone here.
Completely gone, yes. This might be my favorite mix that Scott Burns has ever done,
Oh
honestly.
man,
It's
really?
just spot
Damn.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, or maybe Pierced from Within by Suffocation. That's a really good one, too.
Oh man, trying to pick a
Yeah.
favorite Scott Burns mix. I don't know. Fuck. That's a that's a list in end of itself right there.
But yeah, it might be my favorite Scott Burns mix ever. It's just
Nice.
exactly what it needs to be, really.
Nice, exactly. And any
Mm.
comments on this album? So where do you have this one ranked for yourself?
I have this one at number two.
Number
It would definitely
two.
be in my
Oh
top
shit,
50. It would definitely be in my top 50, 40, 30 albums
man.
ever.
The way you were talking
Like
about this,
every track is a rapper.
the way you were talking about this, it sounded like you were putting this at number one. Damn.
No, 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 no. We all know what number one is.
Oh man.
Um, you completely forgot to mention my favorite track, which is actually the opener, "Flattening of Emotions." It
Flattening
just
of emotions.
comes in
Yeah.
swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's too good. I
Yeah,
even have a
damn,
guitar
man.
cover on my YouTube channel of this song. Of course, I
Oh
like
yeah.
it.
Shout out to Beanman's YouTube
Mm,
channel. Go subscribe to him
just
if you
somehow
want.
forgot to do it at the start.
Hey,
Better link some original music of mine at the start as well.
I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it. Come on, man. I
Eventually.
mean, like, I usually do that at the end, but I'll give some shout outs to the channel anyway.
Ah,
But yeah. All right.
links
So
will be in the description, boys. Go and have a look.
links in the comments. Go check them out on YouTube, Instagram, Grinder. Wait, what? Sorry. Anyways, okay. So we got Human in 1991. That is my number 4, and that's Bean's number 2. Moving on
Very
and
nice.
into hot take territory now for me.
Oh, lordy.
So we have 1993's Individual Thought Patterns. And this has a
Oh, yeah.
semi new lineup on this album. There's Andy LaRocque on guitar, and the
Oh, yeah.
freaking human drum machine himself, Gene Hoglan, on drums. And of course, Scott Burns returning to produce. And this one for me is ranked at number 7. I'm
Ooh.
not saying the album's bad. I'm saying the album's good. I just think,
Hmm.
I mean, it's sandwiched between such a great album in Human and a great album we will be talking about after this one. And
Oh, yeah.
looking at this, it almost feels like, I don't know, trying to make another Human, but with a different lineup and just not quite capturing that same energy. Like,
Yeah, not quite.
I think this is an album they should have made with the Human lineup with Sean Reinert.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah,
That would have been insane.
I
I've actually
think
never thought of that before.
from like, they're this is like the height of their technical era, right? Like their last 2 albums were basically more
You could
prog
probably say
death,
that, yeah.
and this is like
Hmm.
their more tech version of death. And I think the Human lineup would have probably been better off doing this one. And I think, you know, having
Maybe.
having a new lineup for an album when Chuck was still writing that kind of Human style probably,
Mhm.
you know, is why it feels like a downgraded version of Human a little bit. Again, still a good album. I still enjoy it.
Just number
Like still
7.
some great tracks like Overactive Imagination, Trapped in a Corner,
Oh,
and of
yeah.
course the legendary Philosopher, you know so much about nothing at all.
Such a good line.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So again, I like the album. It's a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me. It's ranked at number 7. Something's got to be ranked at number 7 for something like this. So
Your
where do
last
you,
placement's still 7.5. Okay, then.
yeah.
Cool.
So where do you got this one ranked?
Well, this one used to be above Human, so I have this one
Oh.
in really high regard.
Oh,
I have it
shit.
at 3rd at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. I even have it on vinyl, bro.
Oh.
I recently nabbed just that special reissue they did, which is on like pink, black and white. I think it is.
Nice.
Um, yeah, they stripped back the heaviness a bit from Human. They upped the prog, and
Yeah.
they crafted another banger in my eyes.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Destiny is a great one too.
Mm-hmm.
In Human Form, you of course mentioned Overactive Imagination, which might be the most insane track on the whole thing. So to have that first is awesome.
Yeah.
Another very strange artwork. Like, even to this day, I still don't know what's supposed to be going on there.
Yeah, it looks like a skull from like the top of it, and then I think the
Yeah,
bottom
it's
looks
like a
like
skull floating above the earth.
yeah, yeah, skull floating above the earth, kind of crashed into a violin. I don't know. I'd love to know what they were taking.
Another
With this art.
brilliant Scott Burns production as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah, man. He's
The bass
been
tone is
showing up a
even better
lot.
than on Human as well. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, he's been showing up on a lot in this one, and yeah.
hmm
So yeah, good album on my end. Not perfect, not as good as the rest of their discography, but still a good, solid effort from Chuck and Friends. Yeah. Or the Chuck Schuldener experience, whatever you want to call him. But yeah. So that's so
I guess that works too.
I got it at number 7, you got it at number 3. All right. So, what do you all in the comments think? Are we all full of shit, or how stupid are Bean and I for our rankings? Please let us know, and I'll be sure to respond. I'll be sure to take time out of my day to respond to people who disagree with my takes and judge my entire intelligence based on it. Go fuck yourselves.
Lordy.
Oh, sorry. What? I got
Yeah, I've had a lot of people get pretty heated at me over having the first 3 last, but oh well.
Hey, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So what do we got next? All right. So we
Symbolic.
have 1995's Symbolic, produced by Jim Morris this time. This first one without Scott Burns.
That's right.
And we have a bit of a new lineup here. We have Kelly Conlon on bass, Bobby Kelbull on guitar. I probably fucked up that pronunciation.
Most people I see just say like Coble or something like that.
Coble, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the legendary drum machine himself, who absolutely brought his A+++++ game, Gene Hoglan.
Oh yeah.
Joining up with Chuck Schuldiner, it's like they have a little bit more chemistry this time around. This one for me is ranked at number 2. This is their best post debut album in my opinion. I got this one at 10 out of 10. It's
very nice.
Every track is phenomenal. Every track you can probably argue is the best track. And it's still a great listening experience overall. Like, you can listen to it from front to back and be like, wow, this is awesome. And of course, the artwork. I did
exactly that about 4 weeks ago.
Of course, this Illuminati looking artwork with the all seeing eye at the top. And like, so, is Death Illuminati? Do you think? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
So, we got this Illuminati, like the all seeing eye shit. And then it's like it's cracking a glass. And it looks like there's like snakes with hands at the end. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
With people at the top.
Yeah, something like
is
that.
What I always interpreted it as.
It's so weird.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and either or, and then this is like, it's almost like the peak of their technical side.
It's
and
close.
They're bringing an A game as far as progressiveness goes, and the riffs are still hardcore. His voice is still hardcore. Everything sounds so aggressive on this. And every track is phenomenal. You got 1,000 Eyes right in the middle of that thing. Such a good freaking song. You got the title track at the beginning.
Oh, the title track is incredible.
Yeah. And then Zero Tolerance. Yeah, Zero Tolerance with that like really weird time drums at the beginning. And that yeah, and guitar fucking clinic that is Crystal Mountain, like,
which is my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, my favorite too. Again.
Oh, what?
Yep, favorite.
And it's another one that I've covered. Go and watch the video.
Yeah, man. Link in the description. Sign up to our Patreon. I might link it to
you now, so you don't forget. Where is it?
So where do you got this one ranked on your end?
I have it right in the middle at number 4.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I know. Most people expected this one to be like number 2 or 3 for me, but here it is at 4.
Oh, man. You just gave
Yeah, I already
away.
mentioned Crystal Mountain.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
you just
Oh
gave
yeah, I
away
did
your
give it
number
away.
one.
Crap.
Yeah. Oh well.
Most of you will know it anyway.
Yeah.
You also completely forgot to mention the big song at the end, Perennial Quest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
God,
was gonna
that's a
let you
great
talk about.
one.
I was gonna let you talking about that one, but yeah.
You mentioned they dialed up the progressiveness. I would honestly argue that this isn't even a death metal album. It's just like prog metal with harsh vocals on it.
Yeah, just about pretty
Um,
much. Yeah,
every single song has like 12 sections in it, and it all flows so well.
for sure.
Yeah, it's a banger.
It's a great listening
Enough said.
experience, and it's almost
Hmm.
a riff clinic, a solo clinic. Chuck's just
Yeah, it truly
absolutely
is.
bringing it on this album. So yeah, that's my
Uh-huh.
number two, and I'm giving that one a 10 out of 10 on
And
my
I have
rate.
it as like a very high 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like it's very close to a 9.
on rate your music. Go follow me, rateyourmusic.com/mad mike of metal, and
Oh, true that.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go and look at your ratings again
yeah.
while we continue.
So that's Symbolic, folks, and we are on the
Excellent.
last one, making some good time here. So we are at 1998's The Sound of Perseverance. This is the
Ooh,
final
here we go.
Death album, and what can you say? They really went out with a bang here. I do want to talk about the
Oh yeah.
artwork for a second. So, like, The Sound of Perseverance, I mean, the title is The Sound of Perseverance, and the artwork
Hmm.
is this big gaping hole in the middle that everyone is crawling to. And I think that's like,
Yep.
I don't know, like, maybe I'm, reading too much into this, and I do swear I have not smoked any weed at all today. Or like in a very very long time, so these are not like
Oh man.
these are not like 2 a.m. bong hit thoughts, you know what I'm saying? So I look at the cover and I look at the title and I'm just like, wow,
Hmm.
it's almost like he's saying that this dark pit that all these people are leading to, that's the sound of
Hmm.
perseverance, which is just nothing. And I think
Oh,
like what
that's
he's trying to say
interesting.
is like, because all these people are like crawling and itching and like stretching and trying to reach for this thing,
Hmm.
and I'm just, is he trying to say that like no matter how persevering you are, no matter how strong you are, no matter how
Yeah.
much you fight, you're just gonna end up dead? It's it sounds so cynical, but
Yeah,
like
maybe.
it's like that university speech that Nathan Explosion does. Like I don't know if you ever
Mm.
watched Metalocalypse at all. Like
Oh, I've only seen the memes.
yeah, like there's this one scene in Metalocalypse where Nathan Explosion is doing like a
Hmm.
commencement speech for a university graduation, and he's just like, "It doesn't matter what any of you do in life, you're just gonna end up dead. Yeah, you dead. You dead. Your tits are gonna be eaten by
Oh
maggots.
man.
You're dead. Yeah, you're all gonna be dead. Yeah, it's just and
And
this
you think that's what Chuck was trying to say with the artwork and overall album title, hey?
yeah, like yeah, I know, and I swear I'm not smoking any weed. I'm not on any drugs. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Again, so we're starting
Oh
off with
man.
that. As far as the
Fun.
music goes, this is fucking phenomenal. So we got
Oh yeah.
Richard. We got Gene Hoglan is no longer drumming on this one. We got Richard Christie, who is absolutely. I swear he's got like Vishnu arms on this one. Like he's got 8 of them. It's like Goro playing
Uh-huh.
drums. I don't know how the heck he
Yeah.
did this on this album. We got Shannon
Oh, I
Ham
know.
joining up with Chuck on guitar and Scott
Hmm.
Clendenin on bass. Jim Morris returned to produce, and
Oh yeah, Jim Morris again. I forgot about that.
yeah, and
Huh.
they really went out with a bang on this one. I mean,
Hmm.
this one, where would I have it? This one I have it at number 3. So,
Oh, okay.
and it's one that I give
Excellent.
a 9 out of 10 to on my Rate Your
Mm.
Music. And
Okay.
yeah, in terms of pure listening experience, it's awesome. In terms of progressiveness, like I really think they peaked with that one on that side.
Oh yeah, by a long shot.
Yeah, this is the most progressive album Death has ever done, and yet the songwriting is still really strong. I mean,
It's
you got
insane.
you got
That's what it is.
the opening track, "Scavenger of Human Sorrow," which
Oh yeah.
has one of the longest riffs I've ever freaking heard. That like it. I swear that riff goes on
Which
for
one?
30 seconds, like that. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh yeah,
dun,
true
dun,
that, true that.
dun, 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 dun. Like it just goes all over the place for like 15 seconds or something like that, and it keeps repeating. Of course, we got "Flesh and the Power It Holds."
Oh,
Such a
mate.
good proggy song right there.
Another one which I've covered. Go and watch it, guys.
Yeah, he's just plugging his channel here, man. It's all good now. And then,
That's why
of
I'm
course, "Spirit Crusher," which has one of the best
here. Oh man.
freaking riffs ever. One of the, I hate to call, would it count as a breakdown like that?
Which
Dun,
bit?
dun, 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 dun. Like, I
It's
don't
more of
know.
a bridge since you
More
go
of a
straight back
bridge,
to the
yeah.
verse after that.
Bit of a bridge, yeah. Like one of the best bridges ever.
And probably the best chorus in their entire catalog.
Yeah.
Oh man. With that massive pick scrape into it.
Spirit.
Oh man.
I mean,
That one bit where he goes extra high with it. Oh
yeah.
man.
The one big
good.
like complaint a lot of people have with this album is Chuck's voice, where it's like super, super, super high pitched. Like he is absolutely destroying his vocal cords on this one with how high he's going. But to me, in a vacuum, it's probably like a little grating, but in terms of how it fits the music, I think it's perfect. Like it's almost a Dave Mustaine situation, right? Like it's a,
Oh yeah.
we got some folks who don't really like Dave Mustaine's voice as a whole, but like in terms of how it fits Megadeth, I think it works really well. Like, and I think that's the same argument.
It fits them super well, yeah.
Like I think that's the
And
same
for
argument
Sound
here.
Perseverance.
Yeah. So I think it really fits the music he's trying to play here. And of course, don't worry, I didn't forget about it, anybody. I didn't forget about the freaking instrumental that everyone loves. Don't worry, calm the fuck down. Like take your keyboards and stick them up your asses. We got "Voice of the Soul," which is one of the most beautiful instrumentals, at least in death metal history. One of just metal history as a whole. Between that one and "Desolate Ways," I'd say it's one of the best like death metal acoustic tracks.
Yeah, Angel.
Yeah,
it's a really good one.
Yeah, that's funny too. I looked them up on Spotify, and like "Voice of the Soul" is their most listened to track.
Yes,
like it's their most popular.
I'm pretty sure it's
track.
by a long. And I'm pretty sure it's by a huge amount as well. I'll go and have a look.
It's like 36 million. The closest to it is 24 million with Symbolic.
So yeah, it's the most popular by heaps.
Yeah, and it's hey, sometimes things are popular for a reason, folks. So like,
and it certainly is in this case. It's amazing.
It's a beautiful friggin' instrumental, and
it's so depressing as well. If I hear it in the right mood, it's like, oh man. I don't think I can hear anything else.
Just my favorite part is that it just builds up to such an epic guitar part like that. Dun, 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 dun. Like that. Yeah. So well done.
I'm gonna have to relearn that song sometime.
Yeah, like that was Chuck's masterpiece right there in terms of guitar playing. But yeah, like a great album on my end. I'm guessing, since you haven't named a number one yet, that it's either this or something by Psycho Sinner. But fuck, I said it again. So is this your number one?
That's 3 times now, bro.
I know.
So yeah, you said it's your number 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's my number 3 when it comes to every album in existence. It is my 3rd favorite album of all time.
Okay. Nice.
So needless to say, I don't really have a single thing to knock about it. I really want visual thought patterns as well. One that no one really talks about is "Story to Tell" or "Bite the Pain." Every track, man. Even the cover of "Painkiller" here is amazing.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to talk about that one. Like
they they add their own full-on shred section at the end, and it works.
Oh yeah,
It
and
even
like,
has Chuck's highest vocal register ever.
oh
Oh
man,
man.
like he was shrieking like crazy on this one. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
so. Oh man, I don't even know how to describe it. Like he was singing too, melodically singing
Mm-hmm.
on that one, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like it's weird
But
to
screaming
hear
the whole
that
thing and
and
somehow
scream
still
like,
making it melodic.
yeah, it's a great cover, and a lot of people think it's better than like Judas Priest's original. Like, no, no, shut up.
I personally can't pick. I
Yeah,
personally can't pick.
but like
Hmm.
it is a incredibly well done cover, so I'll give it that. So
Yeah.
yeah, any nothing much else we could say about this one that probably hasn't already been said. So that's
It
Sound of
also has the
Perseverance.
wackiest song structures by far,
Oh my god,
which has
for
always
sure.
stood out to me.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
it's
It just sounds
proggy.
so big and powerful too. It
Yeah,
just sounds so big.
yeah, like the production is so well done on this one too. Like the guitars
Might be my
sound.
favorite sounding one. Either
Yeah,
that or Human for my favorite sounding one. I'm
yeah,
not sure. It's
oh yeah,
close.
for sure. Like it's progressive to the max for sure on this one. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's Sound of Perseverance, and so
Excellent.
those are our rankings. And you know, like I said, with I know Scream Bloody Gore is probably an odd pick for quite a lot of people. But hey, there's a lot of I don't know why, but there's like quite a few people we talk to that Sound of Perseverance is just the bleh album for them, which fair enough,
Yeah.
I guess. But I guess you're ranking that at number one might raise some eyebrows. Same with Scream
Oh
Bloody Gore,
well.
because like there's a lot of people who are like, that's so simplistic, it's so basic, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah,
It's just very
sure,
simple, but it works.
but it's such a
It just
fucking
works, bro. Even though
violent
it's very simple.
violent
Hmm.
over caffeinated experience. So like that's why I
Caffeinated.
have it at number one. And there's a little bit like of an emotional reason too. Like I remember listening to it the first time and I was just like,
Oh, true
whoa,
then.
whoa. And I was like, very
What is
young
this?
young and impressionable at the time, and I'm just like, whoa, this is so intense. So like this like no other Death album was able to recapture that feeling for me, even though on a
Right, right.
technical, professional, whatever level, like it is an improvement, but like in terms of my own
Hmm.
personal, emotions, feelings, opinions, I would pick Scream Bloody Gore at number one
Right.
just because I just love it so much. But yeah, so that's our death
Yeah.
rankings. Thank you very much for joining me on this one, Bean. Is there
Yeah, it
you
was
know
good,
what?
man.
Since you're on the channel, let us know what you're up to right now, and let us know where people can find you.
Oh, what I'm up to right now? I'm wrapping up another term of university, bro, so that's
Oh,
pretty much all I'm focusing on right now. Yeah.
yeah. Good luck, man.
As a lot of people will, yeah, thanks, bro. As a lot of people will know, I've also been glued to my video games, but that's nothing new. Um, as for where you can find me, I
Yeah.
have YouTube, of course.
Hmm.
Go and give me a watch. I have a massive back catalog of videos. I have like almost 400 at this point.
Nice.
Like I said, the original music, it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much any streaming platform under the sun.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll link it in the
you can find me on
description.
Mike's Discord as
Yep.
Beanman and blah blah blah.
Yep.
One whole bunch of other servers you might see me on.
Yep. Um.
That sounds about
And
right, yeah.
yeah, I might not. I might be wrong here, so don't
Hmm.
get mad at me if I like make a wrong assumption, but I'm gonna just take a wild guess and say you're a Dark Souls fan.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, he was talking about
as
video
we all
games
know.
there, and yeah,
Yeah.
he may or may not be an enthusiast of the Dark Souls there, even though I've never played the game. But
Yeah, it's to a bit of a concerning degree in my case, but it is what it is.
it's okay. I'm obsessed with Sumo Psycho, so I got my weird shit too. So,
Oh, yeah, true that.
so again, so everyone listening, thank you very much for joining us on this very special episode of the Smile Time Variety Cast. Be sure to
Check out
follow
my music,
Be sure
please.
to follow Beanman anywhere you can find him. Check out his music. Does a lot of great covers. So thank you very much for joining, and stay tuned for some good Mad Mike content on the way. We got another Keeping Tabs episode on the way soon. And yeah, so thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much to Beanman. Thank you very much to all of you.
Yo.
Thank you very much to Grace behind me, who hasn't said a word while we were recording. You are an absolute champ, and I'm glad to be engaged to you. But anyways, thank you very much. Thank you all. Bye, fucks.
Bye.